source tells CNN that Dan Scavino, a top aide to former President Trump, has now been served with a subpoena. Scavino is one of several former Trump aides. The panel investigating the January 6th insurrection wants to appear at a deposition on Capitol Hill next week. This comes amid a growing showdown over executive privilege. President Biden is rejecting Donald Trump's request to withhold White House records from the committee investigating the Capitol riot. Trump is trying to assert executive privilege to keep documents and other information secret from the committee. Trump is also urging his former aides to defy those subpoenas.
But also importantly, they've asked for President Trump's White House records. That might be some of the information that's the most sensitive, some of the most intimate details of Trump's whereabouts and motions and movements on January 6th, leading up to January 6th and that unprecedented effort to undo the 2020 election.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here. And you think you're going to get away with orchestrating an attack on our nation's capital, on our nation's democracy, overthrow a presidential election, try to assassinate public officials, not to mention kill Capitol police officers, and get away with it? The January 6th Commission is just getting started, and by the time they are done, many, if not all, of Trump's aides, advisors, confidants, they're all going to go to jail for a very long time. You know, you do know that treason is not white-collar, minimum security country club jail, right? No. You guys will end up in the big boy prisons in the middle of nowhere where they put people away for life. One of my favorite parts of this story is the irony. You know, these jackaloons, along with their orange failed leader, are trying to hide behind executive privilege. But here's the kicker. Only the current president of the United States can authorize executive privilege, and President Biden has told them to kick rocks. He's not authorizing squat for them. President Biden laid it out clearly for the world to see that he is not motivated by political vendettas or anything of that sort. Executive privilege cannot and must not ever be used to cover up crimes committed against the Constitution of the United States of America. And that's a mic drop for President Biden. You know, that's all she wrote, folks. The president is telling us that Trump and his cronies committed crimes against our Constitution, and he has already seen the evidence, and this is a clear indication to not only the January 6th Commission, but the American people that Trump is guilty, and we have the proof. Now, look, I know that everybody is anxious and annoyed because we want to see FBI raids, and we want to see the orange slob in an orange jumpsuit. But I keep having to remind myself that justice takes time, and these cases are very complicated, and the government must make the absolute perfect case that leaves these traitors with absolutely no place to turn.
Remember the uproar when Donald Trump made a hugely controversial pick to be president of the World Bank? When Trump decided that someone who doesn't even like or believe in the World Bank, David Malpass, a World Bank critic, was the best person to lead that institution. Well, I'm here to tell you tonight, that pick could have been dwarfed by another one that was far more controversial, because apparently the Donald's first choice for the role was reportedly, drumroll please, dearest daughter Ivanka.
Yes, but there's a lot of social justice. And if
it's all, yeah.
As soon as you start talking about the economic aspect of it, though,
yeah,
a lot of people start listening who wouldn't otherwise listen.
And the same with the defense side of it, in terms of the whole sort of business. It's been very male-dominated.
When the president of the World Bank stepped down in 2019, it sent shockwaves across the international community. But it's more likely that you found out about it because of the replacement president the US was rumored to be considering. Yep, Ivanka Trump. I'm Caroline Johnson. Thanks for watching. As we know, that appointment never happened, and Ivanka told reporters that although her father suggested it to her because she is, as he so eloquently put it, good with numbers, she said she declined because she was happy with the work she was doing.
A report recently that the president said he was into the head of the World Bank. Is that accurate? Did he ever ask you about that?
He did ask me about that, but I love the work that I'm doing, and myself and Secretary Mnuchin, we oversaw the process of selecting the final candidate.
But now The Intercept is reporting that two sources have confirmed that both Trumps wanted it, and it was actually Steve Mnuchin who blocked it, although, quote, it came incredibly close to happening, one of the sources said. It's not clear exactly why Mnuchin was so against it, but we all know there are quite literally hundreds of reasons. The Intercept notes that Mnuchin, with his Hollywood ties and prestigious pedigree, is actually someone the former president listened to, as he had always wanted to be in that celebrity world himself. The US has the unilateral ability to choose the World Bank's leadership, and gross abuses of that power like this threaten to demolish whatever credibility the institution has. Apparently, the rest of the world was incensed that something like this could even be floated, especially as the World Bank's decisions have consequential effects on the global economy. The World Bank is an institution that affects the poverty of people living around the world, so it's pretty obvious why someone like Ivanka wouldn't be a good fit.
Let's start with today. Tell us what this deposition is focusing on and what can we expect the former president to say?
Sure, Savannah, good morning. The deposition is going to be taken just a few blocks from where you and I are sitting on Fifth Avenue at Trump's tower that's located there. Obviously became a symbol of his campaign, where he came down the escalator and announced his campaign. There were a number of protests that occurred there.
Donald Trump is facing an onslaught of depositions from a host of lawsuits he's set to defend himself against. The former president faces at least 10 civil lawsuits stemming from defamation to fraud to incitement of violence. This man is up against the wall. And this is separate and apart from the numerous state investigations and potential criminal allegations haunting Mr. Trump. Now, while we won't go through all of Trump's legal woes, let's at least explore what's on today's docket. It's a lawsuit stemming from September 2015. Now, this lawsuit involves allegations that Trump's security guards assaulted protesters in New York during his presidential campaign. The 6 individuals bringing suit that were injured by Trump's security guards while they were protesting Trump's racist and ethnocentric comments claiming Mexicans are rapists. They allege that Trump encouraged the violence against them, something that he's been accused of doing quite often, shall we say. For years, Trump has been trying to dodge testifying in this case. In fact, in an affidavit in 2016, he claimed to have no knowledge about the altercation with his security or hiring of the guards. But the judge said that Trump's testimony was, quote, indispensable, end quote.
And the Republicans have to stay strong. You have to stay strong. You have to fight. Bring our country back.
Do you feel that enough has been done for a free and fair election for these congressional races in 2022?
Yeah, we are making great improvements, and as you say, 18 states. But we're also being able to stop H.R. 1, where the Democrats would have greater control of our election, of what we could actually say a speech czar.
Mehdi Hasan hit the nail right on the head. The GOP that we're dealing with today is a party that's out of time, out of space, and out of democratic leverage. Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Jackson White, co-founder and chief of content at Politiscope, and thanks for tuning in again today to TYT. Now, what I meant by a party that's out of time, space, and leverage is the fact that the GOP has been pushing the exact same policies since Ronald Reagan was in office. They've been pushing the same cultural song. They've continued to rally against government spending of all time, so detrimentally so that people are still to this day calling for the elimination of the Department of Education, the Environmental Protection Agency, and what have you, which of course, as we discussed last week, keep much of our drinking water and food and just environment safe to live in and exist in a sustainable way. Now, on top of that, tax cuts for the wealthy, tax cuts for corporations. As we've seen over and over again, the trickle-down theory continue to fail, whether it be implemented on a federal or a state level. These are the true policy goals of the GOP. To continue to spread the gap between the wealthy and the poor, to continue to loot the treasury, to continue to make it such that there is no competition if you exist at the top, to continue to make our nation and socioeconomic fabric an oligarchy through and through, such that they control everything from a corporate down to a government, down to the street level. Now, as he pointed out, coming up into the 2024 elections, the GOP knows this about itself. The GOP knows that the public doesn't support their policies. And as they continue to pass voting suppression laws, as they continue to take over the state elections, this is going to be a problem that we're going to face. A party with no more space to back down, with its back against the wall. There's not going to be anything left for them to do except play dirty, except play unfair. As we know they have always, but increasingly so, as more and more people, including millennials and Gen Z, continue to stand against their nonsense, they're going to have nothing left to do except dive deeper into authoritarianism.